Well, I guess I lied about saying I wouldn't be back, but I'm back, and the Bears lose yet again to the Green Bay Packers. When I
11 in a
legitimately
row for Matt LaFleur.
when I legitimately thought we were actually gonna do the unthinkable, after the two sacks on that last drive, I'm like, it's GG's, it's wraps, it's game over. Caleb Williams somehow makes it fourth and short. He makes a crazy back shoulder pass to Roma Dunze, and then he throws it to Keenan Allen to get closer. And I'm like, okay, run the ball, maybe pass one more time. You run the ball, and then you don't take the timeout, or you don't hurry back up on the ball and at least get a pass off to get closer. You leave it up to probably your most accurate kicker in your team's history. You think even though it was blocked, the way it looked like it was going to probably make go in and it was going to be a made kick for the win. But
Well, it looked
because
like he kicked it. It looked like he kicked it low too,
yeah,
because the other kicks he made prior to, they were all low as well.
yep.
The what was it? The
The
53
53
yarder.
yarder.
The 53 yarder was a low kick as well.
Yep.
So with the way he was kicking today, a block isn't out of the realm of a possibility with the way he was kicking.
Yeah. And
So,
there was
but
no win.
I don't want to
The win
I
was
don't
like a
want to
non.
put that all on Santos as far as saying,
Yeah, I'm
well, the
not.
reason why we lost is the kicker.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
no,
not putting
no,
that on
no, no,
Santos. He did
no,
his
no,
he
no.
did the best he could. I thought it was gonna go in because
Well, yeah, if you really look at where he blocked it, it was basically right over the center.
yeah, it was gonna be dead
So
center.
so it was a straight kick,
Mm-hmm.
but again, um,
Packers just got
whoever
penetration on that
whoever
kick.
whoever that guard was, yes, it looks like he kind of slanted to the left, and the defender gave him a nice little swim to come inside. And just like we were talking about just a second ago, the one thing you don't do on a kick, on any kick, is allow any penetration on the inside.
Yep.
You pinch. The guards pinch closer to the center
Yep.
so that they come inward
Yep.
to keep that penetration coming and to force them to try to come over. But when he comes in, he's already in the position to block the
Yeah.
kick anyway because of the guard. He just
Yeah.
it's another heartbreaking loss at the hands of the Bears.
Yep.
My still my ultimate problems are Eberflus plays too much zone. The Packers got the ball with 4 minutes and 17 seconds left, and then they get a 60 something yard pass.
That time they went man. They blitzed. They went man. Jalen Johnson, he tripped. That can't
Oh, is that
happen.
what that he tripped?
Yes, he tripped. He tripped over his. He got his foot all tangled up with Christian Moore, and that was the
Christian
reason
Watson.
why. Oh yeah, Watson,
Yeah,
my bad. And that
Watson.
was the reason why there was nobody in the vicinity to do there. Because if it was zone defense, at least somebody would have been there in the vicinity to get him down. They ran straight man. I saw that play. They ran a blitz. I think T.J. Edwards was blitzing that one time,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously the blitz didn't get home. Obviously the throw was a little bit rushed, but if Jalen Johnson doesn't trip over himself, he tackles him basically midfield, and who knows what happens.
Maybe, maybe. It just seems like to me that every time the Bears defense have an opportunity, and they've been playing really well in the red zone amidst all the
Today.
defensive problems, amidst all the defensive problems that the Bears have had this year with the calls from Eberflus playing a lot of zone and things of that nature. In the red zone, they've been really, really good. Now, granted, the interception in the red zone, that was just a bad pass by
That was just
Jordan
bad.
Love. Yeah, that was just a bad pass by Jordan Love. I mean, he overshot Kraft. And luckily, again, we playing zone. Someone's in the zone to be able to catch the football.
Yep.
But again,
We we should have won.
another game,
We should have
another
won this
game.
game.
Yeah, yeah, we should have won this game. Another loss that I gotta admit, you still have to hang at the feet of Eberflus.
Yep.
You gotta hang it. It's got to be right there.
You
You can
and I
clearly see. The offense was better. You can
Under
clearly see it. You can clearly see it because they ran a lot of motion.
Yep.
They ran a lot of motion to find out for sure what type of coverage the Packers were in. Something that Waldron rarely, if at all, ever did.
Yep.
They ran a lot of motion. They ran a lot of misdirections. They ran the football. And they made that first and foremost as a part of their attack to hit up that Green Bay defense.
And not only did they just
So,
run the ball just with Swift, they gave Roshan Johnson carries and he was effective.
and they also ran the ball with Williams.
Yeah.
So I mean, I haven't looked at the box score yet, but I can guarantee you that all three of them got more than 40 yards.
Let me see. I'm checking right now.
Okay. I'm willing to bet all three of them got more than 40.
Caleb Williams. So DeAndre Swift rushing 71 yards. Caleb Williams 70 yards rushing. Roshan Johnson only had 33.
Okay. All right.
10 carries.
Close enough.
10 carries.
Close enough.
Waldron couldn't give 10 carries to Roshan Johnson. He literally neglected Roshan Johnson.
And they won time of possession as well. Yep.
And though you do all that and you still lose the damn game.
Well, I mean, again, the reason why they lost the game is because, hey.
And yes, could I do believe maybe they could have, instead of running the ball, they could have did one more pass, like a quick 5-yard out to get more yardage.
Well, I mean, if they really wanted to do that, they could have just downed it. They could have spiked it. They could have wasted down, spiked it. You got second and third down still. Then that way that gives you time with the clock to be able to come with two really good plays before fourth down so you can kick a field goal.
Yeah,
but what they did was they ran it really quick and then they let
just let time go off the clock when
they let like 30. I'll say 30 seconds run off the clock.
We had like 30 seconds left on the clock, and I'm like, why is there no urgency to get back on the ball?
That's what I'm saying. That's why you just spiked the football. It would have been 34 seconds. You got a long shot clock. I mean, a long play clock, 40 seconds, and that gives you enough time to come up with at least two plays to run in succession, so that you can get the ball closer.
And here's another indictment. We were just talking about that Christian Watson pass. This idiotic coach challenged a clear catch, which took away that timeout. So just imagine we're in that same situation. We have two timeouts. We could have ran the ball.
That was a clear catch. I don't know who was in the booth that sat up there and told him to go ahead and review that call. I'm at home and I'm sitting over here like,
that's a catch.
That's a clear catch.
It reminded me of that time when back in the Texans game when I think it was Stephon Diggs caught a clear, obvious catch, and Eberflus was like, I gotta throw the challenge flag just to throw it.
Yeah.
And I burned a timeout. Now this time, because you do a stupid challenge, you burn the timeout. Clearly, it was unsuccessful. You blew a timeout, so you go back to that situation. So you do run the ball up the middle of Roshan Johnson right there. You could have called a timeout and been like, all right, we're throwing a 5-yard out to get some more yardage on that.
And keep in mind, we came into the fourth quarter with all three timeouts.
Yeah. One of the timeouts we had to blow because I think we were about to snap the ball right then and there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they're like, timeout. And then guess what? DeAndre Swift, if one, we almost got called for a false start, and then two, DeAndre Swift, luckily he corralled the ball. Otherwise, that would have been a fumble.
Now, I will say that you can clearly tell that they were actually learning the motion, so to speak.
Yep.
With a lot of wide receivers being in motion, a lot of movement. You can definitely tell that Brown was preaching motion throughout the week to uncover what the Packers were trying to do. And you were right, because we did talk about it at halftime. They decided to spy Caleb Williams in the second half. Now, granted, on a fourth down, they ran read option, and I think it worked beautiful. And luckily, Williams didn't get hurt, but he did dig his head in to run forward to try to get a first down. So, but just kudos. I mean, Brown really did. He did really
I thought he did a
Uh,
solid job. The only
I thought he
play,
did a solid job too.
the
And Williams spread the ball around
yep.
too. It's not like he kept targeting a Dunze like he did all the time with Waldron, but he got the thing was create enough motion from what I can see. And you're the football guy. I'm a basketball coach. I mean, use the motion to find out what the Packers were doing, whether it be man or zone. That would give him enough information to get the ball out quickly to see where just to keep the pressure off of him when he has to step into the pocket.
Yep.
So it worked. It worked all the way up into them 2 sacks right before that 3rd and 19 pass to Adunze. So
Yeah.
I mean, you can
For,
definitely tell there was a difference. I'm looking forward to seeing how they move forward. I'm also looking forward to seeing them play Green Bay again. Really looking forward to that.
yeah, we should.
But for right now, the NFL logo is going to stay up here because Matt Eberflus always finds a way to lose, as opposed to making the right decisions to lead his team to victory. There's nobody he can sit up here and blame for this one. Nobody. He can't sit up here and say Stevenson did this. He can't sit up here and say Braxton Jones did this, although Braxton Jones blew one brother
he blew
up
one
on a
brother
play.
up, and then on the one of the last drives, he got blown up.
He got blown up by Rashawn Gary, who just bull rushed him right into Williams.
Just get
So
we need a left tackle.
yeah,
We need a
yeah.
left tackle.
Well, I mean, as you know what, every team needs offensive linemen.
That's true.
Every team needs it. So
I'll
I'm
say
not
I
gonna
was
sit up
pleasantly
and I'm not gonna sit up
surprised.
here and say we don't need a left tackle. I'm saying that we always could use we could use a Pro Bowl offensive lineman, whether it's a guard or a tackle, right or left, I don't care. Center, I don't care. We need a Pro Bowler on that line.
Oh yeah, we do.
Or someone or someone that is a projected Pro Bowler. Anyway, that being said, I just think that Eberflus can't run
He
as
can't
much
run.
as
The moment he fired
he
Waldron, that just showed the red flags of like, all right, dude, this is your last shot.
correct. And then on top of that, there was a report that came out, man, that he didn't even want to interview Kingsbury
Yeah, and
because
you want to know why? Because he knows if he was in the
yeah,
same situation again, Bear fans would be calling for him to be fired and them to promote Kingsbury to be the head coach. And
so it
9 out of 10
leads
times he would have been the head coach anyways because
and,
Caleb Williams would have vouched for it.
and that also leads me to believe, because there was also some rumblings that the people in Seattle were just like, why did they hire Waldron? He sucks.
It's
You
ego.
know, so we're just
Ego.
like, maybe that's one of them things, whereas it's like, let's just say, Nick Saban would bring someone to his staff just to bring them along and help them out to become a better coach, and then they wind up being a better coach, and they wind up going somewhere and then extending the life of that particular program. The only thing is Matt Eberflus is not Nick Saban.
I just chalked them up not hiring any. And this also leads to discussion of Thomas Brown play calling was instantly better than Shane Waldron. There was only one play that I absolutely hated, and that was that naked rollout misdirection play. Defensive end's like, please, I'm just gonna go at the quarterback.
Oh
And
yeah.
he obviously got sacked there. But the fact that
Well, I will tell you this: if we're talking about the sack of number 57, well, to me that was Darnell Wright's fault.
no, so what in that play called it's called a naked, it's a misdirection play.
Right.
Everybody's supposed to down block. Basically, the reason they call that play is so they hope the end crashes down on the running back because he thinks it's a run. And the quarterback just rolls out. If the end just doesn't play the
But the
running
thing
back.
was that it worked. Really, it worked the first quarter. They did that in the first quarter. And I'm trying to remember, I don't believe he completed the pass.
Yeah,
That's right.
that
He
was the
didn't.
one where it was behind Adunze, the first.
It was no, it was actually behind Komet, I think it was, but it was behind a
Yeah.
receiver. And then they ran the same play again.
And there was
But
an end that trailed out with him to the
this
point Caleb
time,
had to.
this time 57 didn't fall for the okie doke.
Yeah.
And he went straight for the quarterback.
Yep.
But I'm gonna look at that first one, and I could have swore I saw Darnell Wright stay
Well, that was just a basic play action. Again, that's a
right.
misdirection play.
No. That was definitely a misdirection. That was definitely a misdirection.
That first one,
That first one looked to me like a misdirection.
I think that was just
That's why everyone was faked out.
that. No, that was just
Was,
basic play action.
that looked like a misdirection to me now. But you're the football guy,
Yeah.
so I'll lean on your expertise.
Yeah. But going on to what I was saying, the fact that Thomas Brown didn't have me pulling my hair out, whatever's left of it,
Correct. Correct.
it's an indictment on Shane Waldron, and it's even more of an indictment on Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles because they sat up there in the interview process and they're just like, we really like this guy. Let's give him a second interview. Oh, we really like this guy. Let's hire
Yeah.
him for the job.
Yeah.
When you interviewed like 8 other candidates and Thomas Brown was one of those candidates, and you're just like, yeah, we'll go with Shane Waldron, the guy that a lot of people in the media are like, why did they hire that guy? Seattle people are like, why did they hire that guy? JSN's on a Bears podcast, basically like, yeah, good luck.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that, they must have been interested in, and again, we are talking about the McCaskies, and you know how they are about paying money. They are not
I
interested
think
in
it was just
opening
all
up.
ego. I think it was all
Well, maybe
ego.
so. I'm pretty sure too, but I can't imagine that the hiring of Waldron was simply just left to Matt Eberflus.
No,
I
I
can't
think
believe
Ryan
that.
Poles was definitely in the
Polls had to have some type of input on whether to hire Waldron, because I gotta admit, with all the rumblings that was going around, those two seemed to be in sync when it came to Waldron.
yeah.
Well, we don't want Kingsbury up in here because he's
We don't want our head coach's ego being burnt if he's getting
yeah,
all the love.
he's a big ego, and having a big ego in the city of Chicago, I don't know about
Yeah,
that, because we don't want to.
it would be similar to that of Lovie Smith after the '06 Super Bowl. They let Ron Rivera go because Lovie Smith ego got too big because he got all the credit for how good the defense played that year.
Correct, or even Buddy Ryan and
Yeah,
Mike
my
Ditka.
Ditka.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I get all of that, but at the same time, though, if you have a strong personality as head coach, then
You
for
don't
the most
care.
part, man, it really don't matter what the OC's head case is, So, because like if we made comparisons as we've done in the past, you know, Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin, Andy Reid, those are the clear-cut leaders of those football teams. And it don't matter what kind of OCDC they bring in, those guys right there, they always defer to the head coach because everyone knows who is the clear-cut leader of that football team. Whereas Matt Eberflus, he wants that, but it doesn't seem like his ego seems too fragile to allow a strong personality onto his staff.
Yeah. And he doesn't, and it's clear he didn't. If he had a Cliff Kingsbury here, clearly, if good things were happening, listen, we know he listens to the media. He literally hung up on David Kaplan's show on the radio because he
Yeah,
was upset getting called out. So clearly they know what they're listening to and everything. And he gets,
correct.
and when, reporters of late have been asking, are you willing to lose your job over certain coaches? He gets really testy about that. So don't tell me that he doesn't have some sort of ego. It would have been clear that if we had hired Kingsbury, things are going good. He would have been like, oh, props to Cliff Kingsbury for getting this offense on straight. But no, Eberflus, because like we saw in Hard Knocks, he had those meetings with Caleb Williams. He wants to be the coach. No, I helped Caleb Williams because
Well,
I
but
had
at
all
the
these
same time,
meetings.
if you listen really closely to those meetings with Caleb Williams, it's like,
He doesn't know what he.
what are you trying, you're not really telling him anything. You're just asking questions,
Yeah,
and listening to his response. It was Robert Salah who said before he was fired that he decided to go sit in on QB meetings because he wanted to know what they know. And I'm like, dude, you're a head coach. You don't know
you
what
should
they know?
know.
You don't know what they know? you're a coach.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing with Eberflus and other defensive coaches around the league. Whereas, you know what? I just don't know what goes into you all's planning, what you all's thinking. Because I'm a defensive coach, you're an offensive guy.
Yeah.
It's clear to me that Eberflus, in my opinion, does not know offensive football.
Yeah. He doesn't. I thought the Bears
Clearly.
I thought regardless, I thought the Bears defense did just enough to win. I didn't like the fact that on a critical drive, they need to get a massive stop on, which was the touchdown that got the Packers to basically win the game. They just
Yeah.
didn't step up. Surprisingly, we held Josh Jacobs in check and only had him 76 yards rushing.
Well, I mean,
But
he's
regardless,
still.
some of the drives were like way too easy. He was getting the handoff and he would
Yeah, I gotta admit, just to let you, I mean, and I texted it to you. We miss Billings bad.
yeah.
We
And
miss
and look,
him
and
bad.
and if Billings is the one guy that is basically the integral part of your run defense, that's bad roster or personnel decisions from Ryan Poles to make. You got to have a bunch of
Correct.
guys ready to
Correct.
be like, all right, yes, we got Billings, but we got this other D tackle. If Billings ever goes down, he's another
Correct.
guy that we can go to and be like, all right, get us a stop up middle.
Well, we've talked about that as well too. If you have depth and you can afford an injury,
Yeah.
then those typically are some of the better teams in the league. Take a look, Kansas City. They got injuries all over the place, but look, they still 9-0.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like that, and they're not throwing Pro Bowler after Pro Bowler after Pro Bowler into these positions when the
Yeah.
guy gets hurt. They throw in a everyday guy. Rashi Rice has gotten hurt. Xavier Worthy has gotten hurt, but they released Marcus Valdes Scantling, and they still rolling. So I mean, to me, that's just kudos of the management
And the
and
coaching.
Andy
That
Reid.
just goes to
And
coaching, getting these players
Andy
prepared.
Reid, these players know exactly who the top dog is, and they trust him.
Yep.
They trust him. I just don't see that in Chicago.
Yeah. Christian Watson, you can't have him get 150 yards receiving on 4 receptions.
Man,
That's
it just seemed like he just waits for the Bears to sit up here and blow us up.
yeah, and then
Just
he
did
doesn't
crap all year long. I don't even think he's had a game in which he's had 5 targets or more.
yeah.
And here it is. He busts the Bears for what, 4 and 150?
Four receptions, 150. Everybody else was under, with the exception of Josh Jacobs, which were just really checkdowns to be honest. But all the other receivers were held to like 2 or 1 receptions
Yeah.
under 30 yards.
Reed had 1 reception. Romeo Dobbs had 1 reception. And here it is. The majority of the receptions went to Christian Watson and Josh Jacobs. I don't even think Kraft got a reception.
No, Kraft didn't get a reception, and because of that killed my fantasy team. While I had Hunter Henry and Dallas Goedert sitting on my damn bench.
Dude, I had Romeo Dobbs in my lineup.
I had Dobbs on my lineup too because I thought he was going to cook us.
I thought it was good. But see, what they did do, because they put Reed in a lot of motion, they had Jalen Johnson on Romeo Dobbs throughout the game.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting over here like, oh, golly gee.
But then the one play Jalen Johnson's on Christian Watson, he he trips over himself and lets him go for 60 yards. And then another thing, I hated how early on critical downs, we just did not send the blitz. See, plays like that on that one play, okay, I understand bringing the blitz. Your guys just got to keep their feet and make a tackle regardless. But earlier in the game, when we had clear cut, like, it was like a 3rd and long, Jordan Love has all the time in the world. He completes the ball. I'm like, can we blitz, please?
Oh,
this
yeah,
guy just sits back, rushing 4.
Even better yet, Billings is gone. Run blitz on 1st down. Run blitz on 1st down.
Eberflus is just allergic to blitzing.
Show him 1 look and run blitz.
Eberflus is just allergic to blitzing. Blitz is not in his identity. It's not in his area code.
I just like, and the touchdown, dude, man, I'm like, man, Jacobs just ran right up the middle.
Yeah, blitz.
And I was just like, where's the coverage after the first line of defense? Where's the second level at?
Yeah.
I mean, you had Hicks arm tackling Jacobs up at his chest.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my wife, your aunt,
Yep.
she knows very little about football. And she's sitting over here like, why he did that? Couldn't he have just grabbed his leg?
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? That's a good question, baby. I don't even know.
Yeah. We also could have forced another turnover where somehow Christian Watson comes down with a double covered pass. That was just not Kyler Gordon and Elijah Hicks just didn't execute correctly on that, and they just didn't put themselves in position at least past them.
Well,
Under no
yeah,
such circumstances should a double covered player catch a ball.
well, and then on top of that, look at the play again. When Christian Watson turned his head, what did Hicks and Gordon do? They
Turn their
didn't
head.
turn their head.
They looked at him.
They looked at him. The only person that knew where that ball was Christian Watson. And even I said that then to the missus. And then she asked the same question. How is he able to catch both of them, the football with both of them men around him? Because the guys in the navy blue shirts didn't see where the ball was. Neither one did. And the person that was in best position to get that football would have been Hicks. All
But
he had to
Hicks,
do,
yeah.
look up
He
and
could
then
have
come
literally took
forward.
that out of the air right then and there. Would have been Jordan Love's second interception. And even though we stopped, because I think that was the drive where we did stop them on all four downs, correct?
Yeah, that was the drive where Jordan Love no, they got a touchdown that
They're
drive
gonna touch on that one?
because
Okay.
yeah, they got a touchdown on that one because Love wound up running and almost getting it over the pylon, and then the next play was a quarterback sneak.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think other takeaways. I think even the drive before we had a chance to go get the game-winning field goal kick, I thought we could have maybe called a little bit better, more run plays there to kill more clock. We just, I
Yeah,
think, passed it two straight times, and it was obviously incompletions, and it stopped
yeah,
the clock.
yeah.
Or actually, no, the first pass was to Rome on a little screen pass. Shockingly enough, the screen passes actually worked today. So maybe that just goes to the scheming of how Thomas Brown schemed the screens to work. But
But he
that,
motioned though
yep,
too. Now keep in mind, he motioned.
yep.
He motioned. He wound up. It was one screen, the one for well, actually both of them, the ones that I liked anyway, were at DJ Moore.
Mhm.
But he was in a trips formation, and then the inside receiver, which was a Dunze, he wound up motioning out, taking the player away from that right side, and then he was made it easy for him to screen
Yep.
with Moore. Now early on, and I think I did text you that we had a little bit of a discussion when I was basically saying Williams needs to calm the F down
Yeah.
because it was screened to Allen and he just got rid of it like it was a hot potato. Now,
Yeah.
granted, you're supposed to get rid of it quick, but you got to stay within yourself long enough to make the throw very good. And that play he didn't, but each one after that seemed to be okay.
Yeah. And then we threw it to Keenan Allen, which he had to. Caleb Williams threw a little high, but still, if you have your hands on the ball, you got to catch it. That stopped the
Yep.
clock, and then I think they decided to run the ball, and then no, they passed the ball. It was just short, and then they had to punt, and that led to the. And the moment I knew that, I'm like, great, Green Bay's going to go down the field, and they're going to go ice this game more than likely. And
4:17, I was like, that is way too much time
yep.
for the way the Bears defense has been playing. I mean, they really wasn't really getting to Love
Yeah.
at all. Um,
And you
they
can make the argument they could have just went for it on 4th and 3 and try to like ice the game and kill some clock even more.
yeah.
They were really
Well,
successful on 4th down today.
what also got me was they didn't do any stunts
Yeah,
to
they didn't
keep
do enough.
Love.
It's just a straight 4-man
Yeah, it
rush.
was
They
just
didn't.
straight 4-man rush. No stunts to keep Love off his right hand to make
That's another indictment on Eberflus and his defense. Do you have any stunts
Eberflus.
in your defensive line? If you're gonna rush 4, run some stunts to just get off one offensive lineman, and maybe the defensive lineman just runs into his side because Packers offensive
Correct.
lineman not paying attention.
Make and make him throw across his body. I mean, there was nothing like that. Every time Love pulled out, he pulled out to his strong hand.
Yep.
And because he knew, first of all, he knew Sweat was going to make an outside rush. I
Yeah.
don't recall Sweat making any inside rushes whatsoever
Because they,
to
for
be able
whatever
to take
reason, they
that
had
away.
Sweat like lined up all the way far away from like the tackle where he
Cor-
was at. And I'm like,
correct.
why?
Yeah, I mean, it just seemed. But I'm saying my point was okay. If you're going to run Sweat to the outside like that, then stunt with the defensive tackles
Mhm.
so you can actually have someone come through the gap, the B gap
Yep.
instead of the A gap, which the defensive tackles kept rushing through.
Yeah.
So for me, just like I said before, just drop it at the foot of
Yeah, drop it at
Eberflus.
the feet of Eberflus. His defense.
Gotta drop it at the foot of Eberflus, and it's gonna be interesting his post game presser to see
He's
you
probably gonna
know,
talk about like, oh, we really fought. No, dude, I'm not hearing
yeah,
your excuses.
yeah.
We lost the game. We lost it. We
We
lost the
fought
game.
we fought really hard, and if it wasn't for the guard who he made a bad play, um, and allowed you're supposed to do that. Okay, all right,
Yeah,
dude.
he's gonna say like he's gonna tell the people like the player just didn't execute. I'm like, well, guess what, dude? You're in the coach. You should be in the meeting with Richard Hightower,
He
and
is going to throw somebody under the
yeah,
bus.
and see again, that block happened after a timeout. You should already tell your players, listen, block your insides. That's all we need you to do. Don't have any pressure
Well, if you
come up
do it all
front.
the time, you shouldn't have to tell them.
Yeah,
If you do it all the time, you shouldn't have to tell
because
them.
that was literally 2 minute drill right there.
Yeah.
But clearly they must not. Well, they clearly practice it, just not effective enough. And then obviously the last thing, I will say Caleb Williams definitely played a lot better than he did in the last 3 games combined. I
Now,
think the
granted,
way the game plan,
his first quarter was not a great first quarter. He made some very bad throws. I just very bad throws. So, but outside of that, I think all in all, um, he played a really great game. He didn't turn the football over.
yeah,
The Bears were able to run the ball to some extent. In certain situations, they were able to stop the run.
yeah.
Although Josh Jacobs has a history of really killing the Bears, roll tide, but tough loss, man. But it just goes to show you that Eberflus
He's the guy that holds his team back.
he's not an in-game strategist.
No,
Um, he can't coach the situation that's in front of him.
yep,
I'm assuming because he's never seen it, so he doesn't, there's nothing to refer back to.
yep.
But
Like
just
and Caleb Williams, and the thing that pisses me off too is, despite Caleb Williams taking those 2 sacks, he still got us down the field. That fourth down pass to Roma Dunze was a big time throw, like legitimately. That because I was
yeah,
like, okay, it's over, it's over. Then he makes that play. I'm thinking like, oh, he's gonna overshoot him. Roma Dunze catches it. I'm like, we actually have a chance. Then he throws it to Keenan Allen. I'm like, holy hell, we're actually gonna do this. We're gonna pull it off. And I'm just,
well, the same thing with that Roma Dunze
yeah,
play. That cornerback never looked back for the football, even though it was a back shoulder throw. He never looked back for the football. So, I mean that to say it just don't happen. It doesn't always happen with just Chicago.
yeah.
It happens with other football teams. Just the quarter, pass defense 101. When the pass is in the air, the wide receiver looks back. You got to look back too.
Yeah. And it just sucks because he literally led the team down the field to win the game. And he
Yep.
did his job. He and the offense did their job.
Yep.
Special teams failed to do their jobs when
Yep.
they've been the most reliable unit the last 3 weeks because that's all they've been doing, kicking field goals.
And coming in, people know the Bears' strength defensively. They gonna get in that zone. They gonna stay in it.
Yeah.
They're gonna get in that zone and they're gonna stay in. They're gonna give you a man look, and they're gonna rarely blitz.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that's the scouting report on the Chicago Bears defense.
Yeah. Regardless, again, my assumptions about Caleb Williams being the guy, nothing wrong with that. I still trust him. I thought he had a solid game today. Yeah, he didn't throw no
Right.
touchdowns, but he didn't throw any interceptions. He gave the team a chance to win.
Correct.
It sucks that his
Correct.
teammates on the special team side let him down, but
Correct.
again, there's even things he could have did better. The one pass he overshot Roma Dunze on, he could have, if he puts a better ball on that. Brady talked about
Yeah.
the air. If he puts air on that, who knows? That's actually a touchdown right then and there because Rome had I think it was Nixon beat. Um, no referees. I thought,
And again, DJ Moore seemed like he was happy because he was involved in the offense. I think Brown did a especially really good job of making sure that all three wideouts got touches.
yeah,
And he moved the ball. Williams moved the ball around a lot. Komet got touches. Dunze got touches. Allen got touches. Moore got touches. Everyone got touches. Now, granted, yeah, they didn't result in touchdowns,
yeah.
but they were able to move down the football field, put stress on the defense, and they almost came up with a W.
Still hold this loss against Liverpool. I still think he should be fired, but
Yep,
see,
me too.
this is the thing. Upper management can't look at this performance like, oh, we were just so close to beating those guys. No, they got to be like, well, if you didn't challenge that play, maybe we have two timeouts. We could have got more yardage. Maybe
Correct.
if you do a few other stuff, more inventive things on defense, I don't know. Maybe we can do that. Oh, also, why is our offense moving the ball more efficiently against the Packers than we did the last 3 weeks? And we had to fire our offensive coordinator. Hmm. Upper management should still prove that he needs to go. Eberflus is
Yep.
still 0 something against the Packers, and he
Yep.
still has a under 500 record against the NFC North. He's only got 2 wins,
Yep.
and the rest are losses.
Yep.
I don't know how many losses it is, but
Yep.
that's
And next is
unacceptable.
Minnesota.
Yeah. Next is Minnesota.
Who, who
Let me check to see how did they win their game today? Because
they were up 23-13 late.
they won the game against the Titans 23-13.
Yeah.
So
And Detroit beat the brakes off of I should have put Golf in instead of Joe Burrow, but I was tempted. Put Golf in instead of Joe Burrow. But I still think Joe gonna be able to get me some good value today.
regardless, albeit I thought I was going to come in on this video
did
after.
the,
Huh?
did the Steelers win?
Yeah, they held on and won.
Told you.
Yeah. Regardless, as we get out of here, I thought I would be pissed off. I thought we'd be getting blown out 50 to something. The Bears kept it close, and my only happiness is the fact that Caleb Williams gave us a chance to win.
That's right.
That's all I can care.
That's
all I
right.
take.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and the offense looks somewhat better under Thomas Brown. By no means does that mean make him full-time head coach. No, I still think there's better candidates than him. But if he wants to stick along and be OC, more than fine with that. But that's obviously up next to whoever the next head coach of this team is.
Well, I'll put it to you like this: we both know that Eberflus is going to be around for the end of the football year, and I think the only way they'll release him is if the Bears go 4-13. That's the only way. But if he wins, if he splits with Green Bay, Minnesota, and Detroit, if he splits with those three teams, 1-1 each, then yeah, I think he's gonna hang around next year.
Anyways, we were close. We're only getting closer to beating these stupid dudes, but one day we'll get ours. Hopefully, it's the last week of the season. But we're gonna catch you guys in the next video. Till then, guys, stay safe, and I'm gonna go watch Bills Chiefs. Bye.
Me too. Bye.